Hi everyone, Leisa Woolsey, life coach coming to you from Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. Hope everyone's doing well. It's very muggy here today. We've been having some rainy, wet weather, and it feels very muggy here today, which is very unusual and is wreaking havoc with my hair. I can feel it going flat as we speak, which that's no darn good, I tell ya. Anyways, today I want to talk to you about a saying that I use all the time. And the saying is, don't be held hostage in your own life. And what I mean by that is often there are scenarios in our life where we are feeling very stressed, very depleted, very unhappy, very frustrated. We're venting to our husband or our friends about this particular person or this particular scenario or our children, what have you. And I call that being held hostage in your own life because, in essence, if that is going on, you play a role in that. And what I mean is, there are things that you can do to shift that. So this kind of connects to the serenity prayer that I talked about last week, where I was talking about having the courage to change the things that you can and the wisdom to know the difference. So this ties into that, because if there are things going on that do not work for you, that simply do not sit well with you, then the role that you have, the responsibility that you have, is to correct the course, to address the situation, to shift it in some way. And very often it comes down to, first, the awareness of it, and secondly, having a conversation. Now, I'm not going to say that those conversations are always totally easy breezy, or that they're maybe not difficult to have, or you're not nervous about having them or scared about having them. I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting that is, if you're spending a lot of time being held hostage in your own life, it's not a good thing. And something can be done about it. Because number one, quite often, the people that we believe are doing that to us don't even know that they're doing it to us. They're not even conscious of it. I'll give you an example. So quite often, we'll have people in our family that demand a lot of us. Perhaps we feel like they take advantage of us. Perhaps we feel like they ask for too many favors, or they show up unannounced all the time and they weren't invited, and that kind of bothers us. And what that means is you're being held hostage in your own life. And you can fix that. You can correct that. You can address that. And they probably don't even know any better, because you haven't pointed it out and they're not mind readers. So if you can get to a place where you no longer allow yourself to be held hostage in your own life, the amount of freedom and peace and the feeling of being content and much happier is remarkable, because you're not living from a victim space. Because anytime you're being held hostage in your own life, you are holding a victim space for yourself. Another example that I can think of, and a topic that I'm very passionate about, is parenting. And quite often I speak with parents or deal with parents or even see parents where their children's behavior, to a great degree, really frustrates them, makes them annoyed, makes them feel annoyed, very depleted, stressed, tired, all those things. And they just choose to ignore it versus address it and discuss it and no longer tolerate it. And your children are going to do what they're going to do if they're allowed to do it. If you choose to ignore it, then you're being held hostage in your own life, especially. And what this is connected to is, you're being held hostage in your own life when the feelings around a certain scenario are not good. They don't make you happy. You're very frustrated by it. You can't stand it. You're being held hostage in your own life because you can do different to get different. So I wanted to put that out there because it's a big thing, and yet it's such a beautiful thing if you can address it and turn it around. It really will free up your life in so many beautiful ways. I can't stress that enough. And I personally am very conscious of it when I'm being held hostage in my own life. I don't like it at all, and I do whatever I can to address it. And don't get me wrong, please don't misread me. When you're addressing these things, I'm not suggesting that you become very aggressive and rude and come at it from a really nasty place. I'm not suggesting that at all, because drawing your boundaries never has to look like that as a rule. What I'm suggesting is that you have a conversation and that you can approach that from a loving, vulnerable, gentle place and just draw your boundaries and draw new parameters. Explain to the family member or to the friend or the employee or to your husband or your boyfriend. Have conversations with your children where you address it. It's not going to be tolerated. There will be consequences. We're not going to put up with this anymore, and stand by that. Because if you do not stand by the conversation, if you do not stand by the perimeters, if you do not stand in your truth and in your power, nothing's going to change. So you will continue to have that I'm being held hostage in my own life feeling. And it's just not necessary and can really, really shift your life into a fabulous direction, because I see it all the time. And whenever you're living in that place, that state of you're a victim in your own world, goodness is not coming from that, and that's not a powerful, empowered place to be. So these things can be changed, they can be worked around, and they can be adjusted. It just, you have to, the first thing comes from having the awareness, and the second thing comes from addressing it and turning it around and making it different. And as I said, often the people that are doing it are only doing it because they've been allowed to. And as my good friend Dr. Phil always says, you got to teach people how to treat ya. So that's a really, really big part of this as well. So I'm going to put it out there again this week like I did last week. Please feel free to comment in the section below or send me a personal message on YouTube, or you can even contact me through my website, www.leisawoolsey.com. That'd be great, because I would really love to hear what your examples are, how you've been able to address that, you know, things that are going on in your world where you do feel like you're being held hostage in your own life, and let me know. It's a great thing to have dialogue around and get input on, and sharing with one another. I really think there's value in that. So I hope everyone's having a terrific day, and I hope everyone has a terrific week. I'm off to a gathering with a bunch of ladies this evening, so I'm very excited for that. Who knows what could happen? A little dancing, a little laughter. It's all good. So I'm very excited for that. Something to look forward to on this lovely Tuesday. So thanks very much. I look forward to doing my video again next week. Take care of you. Bye.